And what's happening? Welcome along, guys, to another episode of the 420 News. Hope everybody's good out there. Almost forgot there how to do my intro. I panicked there for a second. I was like, shit, what do I do? And it's only been like a few days. What's going on, guys? I'm back. Just briefly, we'll get about maybe about a half an hour worth of 420 News done there today. And then gotta run off, look after my other daughter. And I was hoping to have the little man join me on the stream this evening, but he just it was snug as a bug there in his Moses basket, so I just left him rest. I didn't want to disturb him at all. But if he's awake, if he's got the eyes open and he's wide awake next time I go live, I'll certainly bring him along for him to join me on the stream. And in light of the recent news here of myself and many of you probably know it already, the arrival of my new baby boy, Elijah Daniel Condon. So absolutely delighted there with that. So that's my news, and I share that with you. So I'd imagine all of you out there are probably well aware of it right now. And he will join me on the show. But given the arrival of my new baby boy, one of the headlines today, or maybe kind of two of them, really, they're kind of looking at things from that perspective as being a parent. And yeah, that's one or two of the headlines I'm going to get through there in a little bit. But before we get there, and as there's no babies in the studio and the place is well ventilated, we'll blaze up. Yes, where's my grinder? There she is. Yes, what's going on out there, guys? Nice one for all the comments coming in there as well, guys. Really do appreciate all of those comments coming through. See loads of them coming in there now. Oh, just move my bonnet so I can see it. I was out in the audience. See lots of congratulations coming in, guys. I really appreciate that. Thanks very much, guys. Glad to be able to share that news with yourselves and the tremendous joy that was experienced throughout the whole lot of it as well. Being there for the birthday of our son is it's a powerful, emotional experience. Husky, what's going on? Greenbeard is out there as well. Welcome, Greenbeard. Hope you're driving safe out there, buddy. And Keith Griffin, what's going on? Podge is out in the audience. John Finnegan as well. What's happening, Johnny boy? We were considering all naming him John, but I was just like, nah, that'll remind me too much of that Finnegan lad. Jokes. John was never up in the running. R420 Supplies, what's happening, R420 Supplies? Who else is out there? Bernard, splendid as well. Hope you're all well, guys. Hopefully you didn't miss me too much there on Monday. Constant Gardner's in the audience as well. What's happening, Constant? Mr. Gardner himself. Toto Frost, what's going on, Toto? How are you doing? Hopefully your old Madra are doing well as well, buddy. Or Madri, actually, as I think you've more than one, don't you? Beautiful dogs as well, but hope all is well below out there on the west coast of Ireland, yeah. Above Galway, I think you are, Toto, if memory serves correct. But yeah, hope all is well out there. Who else is there? Daniel Crowley's in the audience. Teresa's in the audience. Daily Talker. TK420 Era. What's going on? TK420 Era is over there on Twitch. And he says, or she says, I'm not too sure which you are. But congrats on the baby. Thanks very much. Casa de Strogas is in the audience as well. Congrats, Marty. Welcome back. Thanks very much, Casa. Great to catch up with yourself there for a bit the other night. Who else is in the audience? Anybody I've missed? I see still loads of comments coming through. Garbahead is there. Daily Talk or Billy Bonds. What's happening, Billy? Anyone else? B9F. Never heard of that one before. B9F. What's that stand for? B9F. I'm curious. TG is in the audience. What's happening, Temple Grower? Guys, a shout out to Temple Grower, who is the breeder of such fine genetics there. Ooh, beautiful stuff, TG. And give his YouTube a follow, guys, if you haven't done so already. I didn't actually, only followed him like 2 or 3 weeks ago. I wasn't even aware that he had a YouTube channel, but a great one to follow. Who else is out there? Daily Talker, Keith Griffin, Pad Whelan, Scals, what's happening, and Straw Clips, what's going on. And guys, thanks very much for all those congratulations coming in as well. Really do appreciate it. And yeah, I'm glad I was able to share that news with yourselves. Let's blaze one up, yeah. They would say, like, in terms of when you have a baby, let's wet the baby's head, go for an old pint. Like, it kind of seems distasteful, to kind of try to put it in reference to cannabis. Let's smoke the baby's lungs or something. It's a weird one when you're trying to think of that concept, like. But yeah, like, let's blaze one up in honor of Elijah Daniel. So, and yeah, let's hope his dad is no longer going to be regarded as or as a criminal, and have the threat of prison being hanging over my head there, not be a reality in the not too distant future. So let's blaze one up for all of that. Oh, it's so tasty. Ooh. Yum, yum, yum. Oh. So hopefully you're all blazing up there as well, guys, and protesting, as we do here on the 420 News. Yeah, Rebel Baby, in more ways than one, Casa. Corkburn. Rebel Bread. Billy Bond says, consume for the endocannabinoid system. Yes, yes, indeedy. You gotta stimulate that endocannabinoid system to keep your health in tip-top shape. Get that balanced diet. If you're not getting in those consumables to help stimulate that endocannabinoid system, are you even on a balanced diet? Devoid of cannabinoids is not balanced. So right, let's get cracking. So guys, the first headline that I want to bring to you today is the National Legalized Cannabis Day. Yeah, it's in full effect out there now, I suppose. The joints are arriving at their destinations, and it seems that the TDs who have been receiving them are kind of speaking up there now about receiving them. So I'm going to pop that up on screen there now for you, and boom, there we go. There it is. Excellent. And yeah, whatever. Leading Cork cannabis activist. Jeez, I kind of blushed there when I was reading that at first. But yeah, it's an honour to be even regarded as that. But leading Cork cannabis activist sends 200 joints to TDs and President Higgins. And I will have to give credit as well to the Cannabis Activist Alliance, to Relief, and to 420 Supplies as well in the audience. As it wasn't a lone effort. This was a joint effort. Yes, a joint effort. Yes, I'm king of puns for the day. After that one, I can retire now. But it was a joint effort between myself and the others that were just mentioned there, and we sent over 200 joints. Because myself and Relief and the Cannabis Activist Alliance, we sent 200 joints, and I believe then R420 Supplies sent out another 50 joints. So between those people mentioned, there was over 250 joints sent. And I did receive other images and videos from people who asked for them not to be shared, unfortunately, because their face was in it. I should have blurred it out, put a smiley face over it or something, but look, they asked not to share it, so I won't. But there was a number of other people out there who got involved. One being the Cork Cannabis Club as well, another Twitter page over there, another activist. And he sent another couple of joints as well. So I'd imagine there was probably over 300 joints. Hopefully it was close to 420 that were sent. But yeah, a tremendous effort there by everyone involved. So well done, everybody, because it's taken off. It's gaining traction now as the packages start to arrive, as the envelopes get opened and the cannabis is smelt. Yeah, the TDs are taking to social media and mentioning it. Some of those who've mentioned it already include TD from Fianna Fáil, I believe he is, Cathal Crowe. I'll actually pop Cathal Crowe's up there now on the page for you just to see, because you have to give credit where credit's due. So Cathal Crowe, CRWE. There we go. So yeah, I believe he said, yeah, this is definitely the most unexpected item my office received in the post. And I believe this might have been sent from R420 Supplies. I think I don't know. I didn't see raw tips in any of the joints that we were sending. but I could be wrong. But this could have been one from R420 Supplies. And look, oh, would you look at that? Look how many likes it's got. It's got 422, which is 422, you guys. Come on, like, yes, yay. I can't even like it now. I don't even want to ruin that. Don't any of you go over there and like it now anymore, guys. That's enough. I'll hit the retweet button so he knows he's got my support. But yes, excellent stuff. Delighted to see the traction being gaining there on this campaign. Cork Bio threw up an excellent article, so I have to give credit there as well to Emer McCauley, who took the time to write this article and gave excellent coverage to the campaign. Get on over there and give it a read. She also shared the image there of the joint I sent to Mary Lou. Yes, I did. I went and I coloured in the joint as a tricolour. I didn't do the roach just in case she wants to have a talk off it. I wouldn't want there to be any green evidence on her lip. So I did leave the tip clear just in case, on the off chance she might want to talk it up. I was kind of tempted, but I was looking at it. I was like, I've never smoked a tricolour joint, but I have to wonder then as the colours used, maybe they're carcinogenic if they get burned. So maybe it's not a good idea. But for just the crack, the shits and giggles, we made it a tricolour. So I hope you all got a bit of enjoyment out of that campaign. I know many of the recipients of the letters, including Oliver Moran, Green Party councillor here in Cork. He was also very happy to receive his letter too. Here's some of the pictures here from R420 Supplies. So yeah, that actually confirms that the one above that on Cathal Crow's page actually, sorry, was R420 Supplies. This is my handiwork, and that was sealed as well using a cotton bud and water, guys. So I didn't lick these joints. They're COVID compliant joints. Yes, COVID compliant. And we didn't spread no disease as well, posting these out. Even the letters, these envelopes these days, sorry, they come self-sealing, so you don't have to lick that either. Although I used to like licking envelopes. I don't know, am I the only one out there who liked the taste of the old gum off the back of the envelope when you licked and sealed it? Did they share any more? Yeah, they shared the pictures of parsley there as well. As to be very honest, there was only one joint that went out that contained parsley, and it was Frank Fian's. I spiked Frank Fian's joint with some parsley. He's got cannabis in there too, so if it goes for testing, it's going to come back positive for testing for cannabis. But if he sparks it up and has an old smoke off it, there's a good load of parsley in there as well. Serves him right for supporting prohibition. So yeah, so that was a really good campaign, and I look forward to more TDs as they begin to receive these letters. We did stagger the letters being sent out. Some of them were sent on Friday, some of them were sent on Saturday, and some were sent on Monday, just in case, that they all arrive at the one time, and that, for God forbid, that one time the dog happened to be there and got a whiff of all of our spliffs. We didn't want that to happen, so we just staggered them. But the campaign began on November the 5th, which is the 20th anniversary of Luke Ming Flanagan's action. Back in 2001, he began this campaign. So yeah, we staggered them, and they're going to be arriving. Like, I would imagine the last of them should be arriving tomorrow. Like, if the post service is having a bit of a delay, maybe Friday at the latest. But yeah, we should see some more, and that'll keep the traction going. It'll keep the momentum going as more people post about it. Some TDs will be like, no, I didn't receive anything yet, and next it'll arrive in the post tomorrow, and it's like, yeah, there it is. I get these posts up about it. I hope it gives those who support cannabis prohibition ending the opportunity, such as Cathal Crow, to post about it. Like, he didn't give any indication here in the post about his support for the campaign or not, but the fact that he didn't give any distasteful expressions about it, he said it unexpected, but that's not distasteful, that's not negative. So like the fact that it's absent of any negative comment at all is a positive thing on this. And I know Cathal Crow has said himself in the past, he's been open about that he supports the idea of ending cannabis prohibition, albeit not in line with his party's position. But it's good to know that there's somebody on the inside of the party who is open-minded and willing to do their part. There might be hope that that there'll be support for this, the likes of Gino Kenny's bill, if he gets an open vote in it there when it goes to the floor, whenever that might be next year, that he will be able to get the vote of Cathal Crow if the Fine Gael whip is taken away. So yeah, very positive things. Others out there, there's going to be another article, keep an eye out for it in the journal. And also, who was the other one? Oh geez, there was another journalist who got in touch with me earlier on from, where's my phone? I'll have to give him a shout out as well for taking the time out to do the interview and cover it. But keep an eye out for it. There'll be two more articles to come very soon covering this. One of them is from Graham McGrath from the Extra.ie. So Extra.ie are looking to do an article. I had a reporter there from their place onto me, and a reporter from the journal as well, .ie. So that's good. And if there's any other journalists out there who want to get in touch, by all means, get in touch. So in other news out there, guys, and to go back to what I was saying earlier, about the fodder-related article, this is a case here coming out of Cork City, where a Cork teenager was given a jail sentence over multiple drug offences. This is just an 18-year-old young lad. He'd only just turned 18 too, as indicated here in the opening paragraph. It says the young person had just turned 18, but all bar one of the offences to which he pleaded guilty before Macroom District Court took place when he was a minor. I fall prey to this as well. You know, I can really relate to this young lad's position. I got caught with a bit of cannabis when I was 17, but I didn't end up in court until I was 18. So I got actually tried as an adult for something that happened when I was a minor. Now, I got caught with cannabis one or two more times as well, with all of that going on. And it was an unfortunate case when it was a very fortunate case for myself when I ended up in front of the judge, that he was very lenient. He was very, he gave me faith in the Irish justice system, if you will. You know, the judge was kind of like, what are you doing here in front of me for such a small amount of hash at the time it was? He was like, and he kind of looked at the guard and he said to the guard, why are you wasting my time and the court's time by bringing this young lad to court for such a minor offence, he said. And he struck the case out. He struck it out. He let me go home. My first offence, my first experience in court, no solicitor, spoke for myself, thought I did a good job, gave myself a good representation, and the judge found in my favour. He struck out the case. He was like, go on away home now. Or it was go back to work, actually. I was in my work clothes. I had to go back to work that morning. Stressful morning it was too. I'll never forget that, getting the bus in as well, and having a conversation with one of the local lads here as well, telling me, not to worry, Martin. He was been through it as well and getting a bit of advice. But yeah, that was my experience, and that was, 15 years ago now. Over 15 years ago, almost 32 now. But this is the case anyway. It doesn't name the lad in the article either. And it was an article put out by Noel Baker on Sunday. It says the teenager carried out a string of drug offences, ultimately leading to him selling drugs to cover the drug debt. And he was handed an 8-month jail sentence. And when that was handed down in the court, it led to his father. And this is where I come into it. This is how I can relate to this article as a father. As I have a son now, and I have 2 daughters as well, and my daughters are just as likely to grow up and to want to use cannabis, that as well as my son as well, but just coming into it, nobody wants to see their kid, their son, their daughter be treated as a criminal for something that potentially could be a health issue. Like if this young fella has a health issue here, if he's got some underlying issue that's leading to him to continue to lead in this, live his life in this way, to go seek out cannabis, there's something underlying that needs to be addressed. He doesn't need to be punished. A prison sentence not going to help him at all. So as a parent, I feel with that father there as well when he cried out in court. I believe he yelled out like, what? I believe that's what he yelled out. I just go down there the court. Where was the comment by the father? Control F, father. Yeah, there we go. On October 18th last year, Gardaí searched his home under warrant. The teenager was not present, but his father was. I'll be going to the second mention of the father. There it is, last article. The judge said he took the pleas of mitigation into account. So the young fella made his case. Hey, judge, I'm a good boy. I'm doing these things. I've got a job. Going to be, I believe he said he's going to be, he's getting an apprenticeship. The young fella's getting a job from some. Well done, fair play to that young fella. Come here, happy days, for getting a job and getting out there and working and stuff. I'm shaming this judge, giving him an 8-month prison sentence. And upon which, he handed down an 8-month sentence on the charge of sale and supply, and a decision which prompted the teenager's father to shout in court, "What?" And he was down the back of the court. He was shocked. Because 8 months, guys, 8 months, imagine having your young fella, your son, your daughter taken away from you for 8 months for cannabis. I would be shouting more than what. I would be, I'd be definitely going down for contempt of court on that day for sure. Outrageous, to say the least. Regardless of how much cannabis the young fella got caught with, if he got caught with €1 million worth of cannabis, I still think an 8-month fucking sentence is way too much to be given a young fella, especially when you can see, it's not once, not twice that he got caught with cannabis. He got caught several bloody times, and he might have underlying issues there, or else there's a problem with our bloody Gardaí in this country, as how they continuously, repeatedly target the same people and create these problems, where this young fella's now going to have an 8-month prison sentence. What's going to happen in prison? He's going to mingle with real criminals. The world of criminality is going to be opened up to him now. He's going to learn different skills inside of there if he so wishes, You've an opportunity, if the young fella's getting caught by authorities engaged in underage drinking or underage drug use, there's an opportunity there to educate that person and to guide them back on the right path in life, and to kind of, not abuse these things. Wait until you're old enough, or if you are going to use them, like we allow for alcohol, do it with parental guidance. Don't be out in the streets consuming it. That's a much better way of dealing with it, rather than what we're currently doing, is just locking them up. Because you're losing an opportunity now, again, that person might need somebody to look out for them in life. They're lacking guidance. You're going to throw them in prison. This person's already vulnerable. They're lacking guidance. Next, there's a criminal that they might look up to. Then maybe their cellmate. And their cellmate maybe is a burglar, a well-established burglar, and he teaches them, hey, you don't have to fucking sell drugs to pay for your habit, You teach you how to break into houses. Look, this is how you pick locks. This is what you do now, You wait for old ladies, and, you do this and you do that, Sickening. It really is sickening, and again, I have to just bring it back as a father. I can really relate to this, and this is what motivates me as a parent, is, again, just in relation to cannabis and to any other drugs. If my daughter's, my oldest daughter's 14, if she should choose when she's 17, 18, whatever that age is, when she decides that she wants to experiment with drugs, I would want to hope that it's coming from a regulated environment. If she was wanting to take a bit of MDMA, let's say, for example, if she wants to do some ecstasy for her friends, if that's the thing when she gets to that age, I don't know. But I would definitely want it coming from a regulated source. Obviously, look, as a parent, I don't want my kid doing drugs. And I'm going to do my best to kind of, maybe educate her as to, whatever, but I don't want her to be doing drugs. But if she is, if he is, I want it to be safe. I want him to be educated, and I want him to be protected. I don't want him to be in the hands of criminals. I don't want him to be brought before the courts if they get caught with their drug of choice. I don't want their career ruined. I don't want their ability to travel ruined. Like myself, their ability to be a parent, pretty much fucking ruined. It's just really hard to be a parent when you can't even utilize your skills to get a job because you're being kind of discriminated against because of your criminal conviction for cannabis possession. It's not easy. So yeah, it's just really infuriating, especially when you look at this next headline. A former League of Ireland footballer who was caught with €14,000 worth of cannabis was spared a jail sentence. Right, that's infuriating. You've got a young fella, albeit, he got caught in total, was it €3,000 worth of cannabis in total he was caught with. I believe they total it up here now. I'm just scanning the article. 140 there at one point. 1,200, no? Oh no, that was fines. I believe that they totaled up the amount of cannabis he got caught with, but he got caught a number of times. He got caught with €50 worth, he got caught with €10 worth, he got caught with €140 worth. So that's it. And he got done for dealing for that, Scandalous, boy. Scandalous. So messed up. But again, former League of Ireland footballer caught with €14,000, not given a jail sentence. No, The judge sympathised with him, right? And get this, why did he sympathise with him? You know, not because he was like had a bit of a troubled childhood or anything like that. You know, not because of any like thing. He's got a gambling problem. Oh yeah, the judge sympathises with the gambler, but meanwhile a teenager exhibiting, you know, problematic behaviours and things that maybe need an intervention, but not a criminal intervention. You know, maybe a bit of guidance. He's got a job now. He's doing well in life, so that teenager's doing well. This lad, he's a fucking gambler. He got greedy, you know, and he went away and he started selling cannabis and he got caught with it. And he went into the judge and the judge sympathised with him and he spared him a jail sentence. So you have an 18-year-old getting an 8-month prison sentence, and meanwhile this guy, Jake Kelly, former League of Ireland football player, he gets spared his, you know. And again, as mentioned here by the guard in court or the judge in court, he made a sober decision, took a sober decision to get involved with this. You know, you even have to go back to that teenager. Like his brain is not fully developed. He's still under the influence of these chemicals we as young people suffer with. We feel like we're invulnerable, you know, and we make silly decisions. You know, you're not mature enough to make proper decisions, and your whole fucking future shouldn't be jeopardized because of a decision while you're vulnerable like this as a young person, you know. But here we go, a sober mind made a perfectly clear of mind, made a decision to go ahead with that, and the judge sympathises with him. You have to wonder why, you know. Is it maybe he followed his soccer team or something like that? Maybe he watched them and he likes the football. You know, I don't know what the story is, but I just think it's absolutely outrageous that a young fella, 18 years of age, getting caught with on a number of occasions minor amounts of cannabis. Like it seemed like the young fella didn't get caught with any more than €200 worth at any one time. This fella gets caught with 14,000. Says he's straight up in it for the money. Like, judge sympathises with him. What a joke. What a joke. So yeah, that's the brief 420 news for today. And yeah, it's just something that just did hit into on the father side of it, the parent side of it. So that's why I just chose to go ahead with those. Otherwise, I was just going to come on here and talk about the National Legalized Cannabis Day campaign. But once I read that there, I came across that on Reddit yesterday. The Cork teenager getting the sentence, and that just kind of annoyed me, and I was like, I just have to express my outrage at this, and to hopefully, you know, just to throw it out there as fuel to the fire over all the burning campaigners out there, you know, to get that, you know, fire burning stronger. Because this we have to use this stuff to motivate us going forward, that we need to change this. Like we don't need teenagers getting prison sentences. We don't need these League of Ireland fellas, you know, facilitating the transportation of cannabis for these organised crime gangs because of their clean cut looking image, you know, and that's the difference. Like, you know, you look at this fella here on this, and you look at me, like I've got a hoodie on. Look at this fella, like he's got his old nice old blazer on there, you know, nice old jacket, the shirt and the tie. I wouldn't even do that for the judge. It's like, no, jog on, judge. I'm going to be me when I arrive in. Like, but this fella probably dresses like this all the time. So you have to look at this at its checkpoint. Who's going to get stopped and searched? Me or him? It's going to be me. And the only reason the guards caught this guy is because they were surveilling the organised crime gang, you know, and he happened to pull into the parking lot where this gang was being surveilled at, and that's how he got caught. Just you know, by chance. Otherwise, if this gang wasn't being surveilled, he would have picked up his package, he would have dropped off the drugs for the gang, and they would have been making bank, you know? Messed up. There was some positive news that I did want to get through there on Friday's stream, but I just didn't get around to it at all. There was a headline there, and I'm just going to pop it up there. Observational study shows that cannabis helps with... yes, and there was a few images to go with that actually as well, wasn't there? I'll just pop them off there for a second. Oh crap, we have to go back to this one and turn off the... sorry. I have to just turn off the Chrome there. Boom. And then we go back to it. But this just a positive news story to finish off with. But a study finds that cannabis may help with treating depression, anxiety, and improve sleeps. And shout out to Podge. Podge. Like, come on. Like, I'm no, you're as soon as I said it, as soon as it even popped up on screen, improved sleep, Podge was like, that's so true, that's so true. Because Podge suffers with insomnia out there, and I shared that with yourselves there before, so I'm sure he's no problem with me saying that. But yeah, an observational study that was carried out over there in Canada, again, just kind of reinforces the medicinal benefits of cannabis. And yet here we are, still criminalising people. You know, maybe that young fella, for whatever reason, who kept on getting caught with cannabis, it was beneficial for him. Maybe to suffer with a bit of depression or anxiety or something like that. Who knows? But powerful stuff, you know, again, coming out, supporting the therapeutic benefits of cannabis, again, smashing the myths that were once there, that this isn't a medicinal plant. And some good findings from it. The study, it was called Antidepressant and Anxiolytic Effects of Medical Cannabis Use in an Observational Trial. And it was published by the Journal of Frontiers in Psychiatry. And had some really interesting findings, all right. It wasn't a very large population that was taking part in it. But it did still have some interesting findings. Among the study participants, 34% said reported having anxiety, 15% reported having depression, and 51% said that they had both conditions. More than 2/3 said that they had chronic pain disorder. It says that CBD dominant cannabis products were the most popular with those patients, and 82% of the study participants reported their use of cannabis. To their health professionals, that is. Nearly a quarter reported using THC products. 7% said that they used products with an equal balance of THC and CBD, and 5% said that they used a product with a minor cannabinoid, you know, such as CBG, CBN, other cannabinoids out there. Again, very positive, but again, you know, with these things, more studies need to be done. They do still need to carry out that kind of comparison trial where they do side-by-side cannabis versus maybe a over-the-counter anxiety, depression pill. But this was kind of an observational one, so still it's not the gold standard, but still very positive findings. And many of you, again, Podge, you know, very beneficial. Podge hitting up the mushrooms there as well. Also have to get the credit where credit's due. Right, I've got like 2 more minutes. So I'm gonna have to say goodbye, guys. And before I do, we'll say goodbye with an old bowl. Other comments out there. Temple Grower says maybe they should step back a bit more and ask why he has to do that in the first place and address those issues. Exactly, Temple Grower. Like TG, like me and you can see that logical side to that. Whereas a judge, you know, it's kind of a bit like a nail in a hammer. Like, you know, he doesn't know what else to do with it. Like, you put a screw down in front of him, and you know he's still going to try to fucking hammer it. Like, you know, and it needs to be treated in a different way. You know. I don't know, did I just completely mess up that analogy? But you might get me. Pete Mack, what's happening? Says, Ireland is my favourite place to travel, and I fully support the legalisation of cannabis in Ireland. Yes, go on, Pete Mack. I'll smoke to that, Pete Mack. Let's blaze one up for Pete Mack. It's heading out you, Pete Mack, and to all the potential cannabis tourists that could be coming to Ireland to experience not just the Green Isles, but the green in the Green Isles. Also, guys, I have to give a shout out, big shout out to Husky. Husky, my sincere apologies for the delay in getting your super chat. Husky stuck in an old £5. Nice one, Husky, for that. Through super chat there earlier on in the show. And that is very much well appreciated, Husky. Thanks very much for that. And to everybody else who's liked and shared the show, guys, really do appreciate all of the support you give the show here. Yeah, I see many of you are outraged as well with that case. Yeah, definitely. Again, I'm going to try to reach out to the father of that kid. Going to do my best to find out who that was, and see if I can have a chat with him on the podcast. And if anybody knows out there, if you're watching this yourself right now, get in touch. I'd love to hear from you. Like, I think it's outrageous what went on there. Nobody should be getting criminal convictions for cannabis, man. You know, I would say even if you're a young fella got caught with 1 million, 10 million, 100 million. no prison sentence. Sorry. Yeah, Temple Grower. Yeah, how many studies do we effing need? Yeah, that's it. And they keep saying there's more study needs, but they won't carry out the fucking studies that are needed. It's like, oh man, just face palming. John Finnegan says, I read that study, very good stuff. Yeah, it was. Yeah, and I mentioned the name of it, so you can go find it if you would like to. Drop me a message if you can't find it. I can send you the link. Hunter K says, wish there were more studies done about cannabis and ADHD or ODD. Yeah, definitely. I would agree with you there, but there is promising stuff out there as well for that, especially for I've seen a lot of positive stuff there with it for young kids on the spectrum with autism and stuff like that. Yeah, actually, that's autism. My apologies there. That's two completely different conditions. ADHD, ODD. That's not autism. So my apologies there. But yeah, I do agree with you. I would love to be seeing more studies being done on cannabis and its potential as a medicine. And Greenbeard, yeah, I get you, Martin, and totally agree. Nice one, GB. And guys, look forward to the guys at the High and Homegrown's Squid Games this evening. It's too late to register, but it's not too late to go and spectate. It'll be kicking off there, I think, at 9 o'clock this evening. And yes, I will be part of the contestant lined up there, so I look forward to that. It's like I'm the celebrity of the cannabis world. Well, no, not well, kind of. Yeah, it's got one or two of us in there. I think GB is in there. Temple Gore, I think, might be one. I'm not too sure. But yeah, where your favorite celebrity could get brutally murdered. Digitally, that is obviously. Um, Martin Cannon, did you pick your 5 numbers for the Squids game? I did indeed. I did indeed. I got them in there earlier. Right. And Chris Carey says, what can we do about driving laws in this backward place? It's just strong campaigning, until we get the decriminalisation and the end of this prohibition, we won't really be able to have a proper conversation as to how we regulate the driving and cannabis aspect, because it can't be regulated in the same way as alcohol. Or if it is, the limit has to be brought way up, and they still have to introduce sobriety tests. I would argue. But yeah, until we get the prohibition ended, we really can't be having a conversation as to the driving laws. And I addressed this, I think, with, was it Luke McFlanagan? I can't remember who I brought this up with, but Ireland actually is quite a progressive one. And that we have actually legislated for kind of an allowance there for people who are medicating with cannabis and they can prove it, they have a license, and we legislate for them. So we're quite progressive in that aspect. And yeah, others out there, Podge. Yeah, only jokes, Husky loves you. And Kitmer as well. Kitmer, you're an absolute legend. Kitmer's after sending in 20 yo-yos. Thanks very much, Kitmer, for that massive support there for the show. Long time no see. Hope you are well, Kitmer says. So thanks very much for that, Kitmer. I really do appreciate that support. I've actually turned off the sound for the alerts. I should have turned that back on. Turned it off there last week with Ming. Yeah, Greenbeard, let's the games begin. Yes. And right, on that note, guys, I'm gonna love you and leave you, and I will be back on hopefully Friday with more 420 news, all going well. If I can't get live on Friday, guys, I'll make it up to you very soon. I promise, but I'll do my best. Until then, though, stay blazed, keep it lit, and be safe out there, guys. Bye bye.